Welcome to the Let's Talk Paralegal podcast, where the legal industry gets real. I'm your host, Rosa, legal consultant, speaker, and founder of Rosa LLC and the Limitless Paralegal Academy. This isn't your stuffy legal studies school lecture. We're talking mindset, money, modern workflows, and how to build a career and a life you don't need a vacation from. Let's cut the fluff, raise the bar, and change the game one conversation at a time. If you like what you hear, feel free to share and send us your feedback. Now let's talk paralegal. Everyone loves to say timing is everything, especially when it comes to launching or actually accomplishing your goal. Whether it's a podcast, a program, a product, or a destination, I've heard it all. Don't launch during the holidays. People are too busy, or summer is so slow, no one's paying attention. Here's the truth. People are always traveling, binge watching, streaming, listening, scrolling, buying, and succeeding. Timing isn't your barrier. Your belief about timing is. Today, I'm proving that timing is just a myth, and your launch or goal can win no matter what the calendar says. Listen in for more. Hey guys, it's your girl Etta, and I wanted to talk about something that sometimes a lot of people don't really realize what's going on. Timing, right? We all think that there's this perfect time for everything and that, everything needs to be done a certain way at a certain time. And this concept has actually been really uprising, especially now with my inner circle and specifically in females, that they're always constantly being pressured about having children at a certain time, having a career, or not having a career, going to college, not going to college. And it's always this constant struggle. And for men too, they feel the pressure that they need to be the providers and they need to be a certain way and act a certain way in order to really cultivate the expectation of society, right? Which comes along with timing. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how timing is a myth and how everyday life, it gives you proof of that, and how we can go ahead and really relate and circle back to that by creating an action plan. So this one's a little one-off for you guys, but I feel like it's very, very relevant, especially now with the holiday rush and everything that's happening. So we're going to start talking about timing as a myth, right? And I want to break it down, right? Because there's a lot of things, especially now, like I was saying, that are used as common excuses. Oh, it's the holidays. Oh, it's, the summer slump. Oh, it's the year-end chaos. Or, oh no, I have to finish this, or I have to do that, or I have to get this in order for that to happen. Or I don't have enough of this in order for it to happen. And so we're in this continuous cycle of, common excuses, right? And we hear this every day. We hear it from our friends. We hear it from fellow colleagues. We hear it from everyone, right? Anyone, really. Turn a podcast on, turn the TV on or Netflix, and here you go, right? But we're going to actually expose that, because what's happening is that we're consuming constantly 24/7 through the Netflixes and the Amazon Primes and the Hulus and the social media platforms and everything that we are consuming every day. We're consuming this illusion, right? And this specifically starts showing up towards the end of the year. So, I'm pretty sure you guys are now looking at more ads and listening to more, commercials, if you still listen to commercials and not hit skip, about exercising and, setting goals and doing vision boards, and yoga retreats are very popular, especially now during the end of the year. And, you're constantly consuming this, right? And with that constant consumption, it creates this illusion of timing, of how, it doesn't exist, or there has to be deadlines to a certain thing. And of course, there's always deadlines, especially in the legal industry. But we're constantly consuming this illusion that everything has to be either right now or that there is an obstacle before in order for it to happen. So Amazon does a great job of not providing you with that pause, right? So pausing the shipping because people are busy. We don't do that, right? And, Instacart, all these things are just instant gratification and instant timing. So people consume this content and when they want, it's instantaneous and not when we're thinking we're available, right? So we don't give our grace, we don't give our time grace to pause, to live in that pause and to enjoy the moments and to stop consuming. So that's what we really need to do when we start thinking about these illusion of timing. So here are a little bit of proofs that I think about every single day, right? So when you travel, a lot of travelers, especially me, I binge on either podcasts or books because I'm a reader and I love it on the flight or in the commute if I'm not the one driving. People can catch up during the holidays because they finally have breathing room, right? They finally don't have to oblige by their, additional obligations within the workspace. And then at the end of the year, we want to, have these reflections and they start sparking up and they start really boiling in and really sparking the investment, right? So investment in programs, in coaching, in growth, in products and everything, right? And even in the slow quote unquote season, our niche and what we're trying to research and what we're trying to provide solutions for or service for, we're not giving that time for that, right? We're consistently and constantly consuming information or just binging on stuff. And we really need to start learning how to just, how my 7-year-old says, be bored. Mom, I'm bored. I'm like, that's great. That means your brain is actually resting and not having to focus on anything other than right now. And so, yes, let yourself be bored, in the words of my 7-year-old boy. But the real problem isn't the timing, right? It's messaging. It's being consistent. It's the belief. It's everything that is around the actual consumption, right? So if you can convince yourself that no one will buy it, you'll half show up, right? If you convince yourself that you don't have the money to buy it and it's something that you've wanted, then you're going to continuously stay stuck in that mindset. That's not what, that's what kills the momentum in any way, shape, or form that you are looking at the situation and this concept of time. It's not a date on the calendar. It's more of a consistency, right? How consistent are you in getting to that goal? How dedicated are you in really taking action steps towards that goal? And all this surrounds itself by timing, by this illusion that we need to be somewhere, somehow in this specific era, at a specific time. But once you relieve all of that, right? Once you remove all those obstacles, you're left with the idea, right? And so taking that idea and converting it into action steps and really holding yourself accountable or have an accountability partner checking in on you, and have reminders, daily reminders, you will eventually get to that goal one step at a time. But you need to create those, right? You need to stop making those excuses and you need to stop waiting till the end of the year or waiting for the money in the bank or waiting for the perfect time because none of that will ever come. Right? You need to start taking action now. You need to stop researching and listening to all these, amazing people and actually taking action. Of course, listen to it. It's always helpful to keep it in there and staying positive and keeping the momentum. But it's the action that's actually going to get you to where you want to go, right? So you got to stop listening sometime and actually start taking those actions towards it. Because if not, you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to continue to listen to all these wonderful things and not really do what you need to do. So, this can crush, right? I want you to crush your excuses. So the Black Friday deals aren't bad timing. They're $1 billion engine, right? So these are very, very intentional. And sometimes they're not really a deal, right? Sometimes they're just maybe lowering it a little bit, but at the end of the day, eventually you'll get a better deal later. Who knows? When the older version, becomes older, the newer version becomes newer, it doesn't matter, right? So Disney Plus, they launch shows around the holidays and people binge on them. So don't think that perfect timing is the holiday before, after, during, it doesn't matter. When you have a good product, when you have a really aligned goal, it's going to work out for you no matter what because you've already aligned yourself. You've already set it up for success. And so it doesn't matter about timing. Timing, again, is just a myth. It's an illusion. It's something that we use to build excuses and obstacles so that we prevent ourselves. We're our worst enemy. We're our worst critic and we're our worst, cheerleader. So it's like, why not, right? Why not add to the bowl and add some excuses and obstacles to it, right? And make what I call a salvage salad. So the new year comes around and the perfect goal is setting your products. The summer comes along and it's personal development and business growth or travel related launches, all these things, right? All these things that we see constantly in ads and everything. But what is it that you want to do, right? That's really what you need to focus on. And that's where your action plan comes in. You need to stop waiting for that quote unquote perfect timing. Okay, there is no perfect time. You need to launch when you're ready, not when the world tells you it's convenient. You need to take that goal and really start building steps towards it, not when you have a certain thing in mind. That's not going to happen unless it's absolutely necessary. Unless you absolutely need a degree, a specific degree in order to do what you need to do, well then start the degree. Start somewhere. Start at least in step one. And then I want you to repurpose it, right? Because I want you to repurpose if someone misses it in real time, it's evergreen. So if you are launching a product, it becomes an asset, right? It becomes a launch asset. And you can do it through an email, through a promo, through posts, through podcast replays. You can convert them into shorts, short form. You can create anything with them, right? So if you're looking at a product to launch or anything like that, do it now. You don't have to do it, you don't have to wait for it. So if you're looking into bettering yourself and personal development, do it now. This is now, like today. Like take a pen and paper and start writing your action plan and start adding reminders on your calendars, whether it's digital or physical. Start journaling about it. Start really being obsessed with it. That's really what you need to do. Because another thing that we fall victim to is that we give our energy to everybody else and forget about us. And by the time that we want to do what we want to do, we are emotionally and physically exhausted because we already outpoured our cup. We didn't actually do our cup first. So if you need that extra hour of sleep, go for it. If you need that exercise in the morning versus the afternoon, go for it. Whatever fills your cup that day. It doesn't have to be the same way. Your every day doesn't have to look the same either. Consistency doesn't mean that your day has to look exactly the same every single day. Consistency is that you're focusing on your needs, you're focusing on what needs to get done, and you're focusing on others' needs if necessary. Of course, if you're a parent, please don't ignore your children. But understand that that is consistency. Showing up every day in what you value the most, showing up with intention, overcoming your challenges and removing those obstacles, and erasing those excuses from your mind. That is consistency in a nutshell. That is true. Okay. So the truth is, timing is a comfort blanket. It's something that we use, right? It lets us delay, it lets us stall, and sometimes it even makes us self-sabotage. But launches aren't about dates. They're about decisions. They're about action. And if you're worried that no one will hear you, let me remind you, people are always listening. So the real question is, when will you decide to show up? Until next time, until justice is served, I'll be here. Bye, guys.